Seed starting with Dollar Tree potting soil? Let's try it. This is my seed starting box. I'm almost afraid to open it. I think I've developed a little bit of a problem with buying seeds. It doesn't seem like I can find a seed I don't like. One of the hardest things to decide actually is what to plant. But today I'm going to be planting peppers. It's about 10 weeks until the final frost date in my area, zone 7B. So I've limited myself to 6 varieties because that's all that's going to fit in my garden once they've grown to full size. I know what they look like as full-grown plants based on the last 2 seasons. And last season I crowded them in a little bit with all the other items that I grew. So this year I want to give them a little bit more space. Okay, here go our 6 finalists. My grandparents came from farming roots, and I can remember helping out in the garden as a child. I'd like to say I have fond memories, but mostly I remember being hot and miserable and wanting to go in the house. But one of the things I do remember is that it wasn't complicated. Maybe that's from the worldview of a child. In any case, I've watched lots of videos and I realize there's seed starting mix and there's lots of good reasons to use it. However, when I started my own garden 3 years ago, I started with potting soil and it worked well for me. Since then, I've started seeds in both potting soil and seed starting mix, and I have basically the same rate of germination in both mediums. So when I was in the Dollar Tree buying materials for crafting, I noticed that they had potting soil, and I said, why not? Let's try it. I filled in all my seed starting cells with the potting soil from Dollar Tree. You will notice that there are some larger pieces of material I needed to pluck out. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Let's go with the first set of seeds. They happen to be from M.I. Gardner, and we'll see how this goes. I placed the potting soil in the cells loosely, and I suggest that you shake the seeds out over something. I've learned not to just hold your hand there because sometimes they go everywhere. I usually just use a pen or a pencil, and I put 2 or 3 seeds in each cell. That way, if one of the seeds doesn't come up, one of the others might. One of my big problems when the seeds start germinating is I always feel really bad when I have to clip one out because the cells will only hold one plant at a time, but trust me, you've got to do it. The next seed we'll place on the soil is a cayenne pepper, and we'll get those laid down. Then I will go back and cover all the seeds with soil. I just like to place them all down, one tray at a time. Don't forget to label your seed starting trays. I didn't realize I'd run out of markers, so I made some quick use of some duct tape I had in the greenhouse. I do believe in recycling. This was an old container that I bought seed starts in last season. I just use the tip of my Sharpie to press each pepper seed down gently, not too deeply, just pressing it down enough to get it settled into the soil. I will spritz them with some water and then cover them up with a little bit of additional potting soil. I'm sprinkling just a little bit of additional soil over the top because a few of the seeds are still a little too close to the surface. I did have to remove pieces of larger material from the potting soil as I sprinkled it on the top of the cells, just so that the seeds don't have to work too hard as they begin to germinate and try to break the surface. Okay, so that tape was giving my glove a fit. It looks like these are my last 2 dottil peppers, so I was just able to fill up all of the cells. Doesn't look like I'm going to get a second run with these, so hopefully they actually come up. And this is what my seed trays look like, all planted out with 6 varieties of peppers. I brought the seed trays inside to go under the grow lights in my small grow room area. It's definitely too cold for them to germinate outside. I'll post an update as soon as the pepper seedlings break through. I just don't think gardening should be complicated or expensive. If you'd like to see how our seedlings are doing in Dollar Tree soil, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.